Alrighty, we just got done talking about the Triple H and Daniel Bryan match, and we all kind of ran into this idea that it's going to be a draw, so screw the idea of Randy Orton versus Batista. This has now become Randy Orton versus Batista versus Triple H versus Daniel Bryan. That's where this is probably going to end up going, and that means one of these guys is going to end up being the champion instead of just Randy Orton or Batista like they were building at the Royal Rumble. Thank God, because that would have sucked. I'm going with Daniel Bryan here, and that's just a pretty self-explanatory kind of thing. You don't really need to explain it that much further if you are expecting this to end with everybody actually in a positive mood and everybody doing the yes chant. That's what they got to do. If they don't do that, then we're going to see another WrestleMania 25 where it ends with everybody just going, that's fucking it. Ugh.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Hayden.
Um, if this ends any other way besides a sea of whatever number of people are going to be inside the Mercedes-Benz Dome, whatever the hell it's called, doing yes with Daniel Bryan holding up the undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Championship 2 titles, it's wrong. I honestly kind of hope we see something else just to see what the reaction would be like, because it may be the most hostile ending to a WrestleMania of all time. Perhaps since 27 is the only other one that would even come close. And even that, like, the people are just kind of like, oh, well, that was stupid. I think this legit would piss the crowd off.
Maybe have the trash thrown into the ring finally.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
The chairs thrown into the ring like that fucking ECW event or whatever it was.
Here's the big problem though, is where do you go from there? I mean, who else if Daniel Bryan can't get the job done? I mean, do you go uber cliched and just have the Golden Boy be John Cena?
No,
I mean,
Brock Lesnar.
No, well, you would have to turn it. You would have to turn him babyface, because
No,
whoever wins coming out of that is going to be the biggest face compared to. I mean, whoever comes out of that matchup winning is going to be the biggest heel, for better or worse, coming out of that. So you got to find somebody that's going to be an instant babyface. You can't do heel versus heel for whatever next pay-per-view you have.
Well,
So
Triple H is face and heel. He switches every 5 minutes. I don't know if you realize that or not. So he could adapt to situations.
no, in his mind, he thinks he's a babyface. He's a heel. I'm sorry. To me, it's one or the other. I'm not doing this whole grayscale thing where, oh, he's a heel, but maybe 85% heel. No. After that promo that he did, after all the months of him beating up on Daniel Bryan, he's a heel. I'm not one of these. To me, he's crossed that line of being a cool heel. He's just a heel now. And no matter who wins, whether it be Batista, whether it be Randy Orton, the fact that Daniel Bryan doesn't win is going to make them the biggest heel coming out of there. And like I said, where else do you go but going really cliched and just slotting Cena into there, which I don't want to see. I have no interest in seeing Batista versus John Cena. I have no interest in seeing Orton versus John Cena. I have no interest definitely in seeing Triple H versus John Cena. So, like I said, if it's anybody else but Daniel Bryan, where else do you go from there?
Well, you turn right back face again and do what they did last year.
I'll tell you what I think that they're going to end up doing after WrestleMania. I had already said I think that Daniel Bryan's going to win this and that he should, because people need that kind of resolution to it. If they try to stall it for another pay-per-view, people are just going to go, you know what, fuck this. You're not going to ever do it. The hell with you. This is the last chance that they have to pull this off. And with Extreme Rules, you have a chance that you can just have another Fatal 4-Way again and, just have a street fight or whatever, even though it's typically going to be no disqualification anyway, but WWE does that shit all the time. I think you need to just go straight to rematches, kind of, which is a little bit disappointing because you would assume that they would want to build on that and have something even better, and we would just keep saying the same thing over and over again. But I'm thinking what we're going to see after this is some kind of a match with Daniel Bryan and Triple H at Extreme Rules. And maybe that doesn't happen because maybe Triple H just wants to wrestle that one match and that's it. But it would make a lot more sense to me if they tried to continue this Randy Orton and Batista feud and separated those guys, made them a number one contender match on the Extreme Rules card. say whoever ends up winning this match gets a shot against whoever wins the Daniel Bryan and Triple H match. Because people will watch another Triple H and Daniel Bryan match if it's some kind of a stipulation to it. Maybe it's a ladder match or something, I don't know. And whoever that is, Orton or Batista, they end up facing Daniel Bryan at Payback. By that time, enough time has passed. People are starting to move off of their feuds and whatever. And if you're looking for who can be the next person to win the title from Daniel Bryan, hopefully they've set Bray Wyatt up enough that they can pull that off. Or maybe you just go babyface mode and you go with Roman Reigns or something. I don't think it should be anybody in the Authority. Anybody have any agreements or disagreements with it?
We're all just so passionate about this WrestleMania main event.
Right?
Well,
okay.
I'll go, Steven.
Not everybody at once now. Come on.
Nobody and then everybody at once.
Yeah, if you're gonna... fucking you go, Drew. I don't give a shit.
You don't give a shit? Oh, well then. Well, I was gonna say a few things when it came around to my turn, but since it's my turn now, I will say a few things. First off, like Mango said, this is probably the only chance they have of redeeming themselves for the past few months or since SummerSlam. If they do not give Bryan the title here, then it's been a fucking complete waste. He's probably gonna go back into mid-card for life type of role. He needs this win, and they cannot fuck this up. But wait a second, plot twist. What if this was their plan all along? Ooh.
No.
Yes, dude. Don't even lie. What if this was WWE's plan this whole time? Something this stupid that it fucking worked. I could see him doing something this stupid just for the hell of it.
I think if this was their plan the whole time, they would have already tried to tout their own self about it. They would have been like, "This was their plan all along."
Well, first off, they don't use tout anymore, Mango. What are you talking about? Come on.
Doesn't Titus O'Neil?
Well, does WWE? I'm not talking about Titus O'Neil. Jeez.
Listen. Here's the big plan. We're going to bury you as much as possible at the beginning of the year. Then we're going to convince CM Punk to leave the company, thereby completely rearranging the entire setup of WrestleMania, and it's all going to lead up to you finally getting the matchup. I am so smart. I'm Triple H.
Dude, Triple H would do something like that. Triple H, he has one of the biggest egos in all of wrestling. But listen, honestly, without CM Punk, this card is perfectly fine. CM Punk, it's obvious that CM Punk needed the rest. I'm not saying this is true at all. I'm just saying hypothetically something this stupid would work out in their favor. But Punk's a crybaby bitch. He leaves when he wants to. He's like Batista or Drewtista. It just doesn't work that much anymore. So listen, we all know Bryan's gonna win. If they don't, they fuck up. Yada yada yada, blah blah blah, etc. Go me, that kind of stuff. But the question is, how good do you guys think this match will be?
What was the question?
What the fucking hell are you going on about, you weird little freak?
Well, I asked how good this match is going to be, but if you don't want to answer, it's fine. You don't want to talk, Steven. I just want to fill the void.
I really hope that they don't end up getting taken down a notch with Batista and Orton. I don't think that those two guys are going to help this match at all.
Well, I think it feels like they're just going to just team up on Bryan, at least for a good first half of it, until they realize, hey, one of us needs to win the title. Something like that's going to happen eventually. So I can see that happen, but I really hope that this could be a solid match that will end a solid pay-per-view. Because, this actually, now it doesn't look to be that bad of a card. So hopefully this goes fine and perfect, and I talk way too much. Go me.
Sean, what do you think is going to end up happening?
I'm sticking with my guns, and I'm sticking with Batista.
Ooh, you got guns?
Major guns.
Big Show's guns?
He got them from Big Show.
But yeah, Batista wins, and then Daniel Bryan wins the titles on Raw the following night.
That would be terrible.
Meaning they'll do it.
It's so bad that they do it.
He wins that, but it's a triple threat that includes Sting. We didn't talk about that in the Taker match, but we already talked about it.
They would probably justify it by saying, oh, no, we waited for the real big main event, the Raw after. I mean, did you hear that pop that he got from the Raw after? I mean, that was huge. Of course, we made the better decision.
Yeah, except it'd be fine for the people there, but I think people outside of the arena will be like, they fucking just did that, didn't they? That's something stupid. Ziggler, they were able to get away with it because the World Heavyweight Championship is not that big of a deal. Ziggler's not at the level of Daniel Bryan at this point.
All right, well, Drew and Sean, you guys said your piece. Wego?
I've got Daniel Bryan winning this just because they've kind of put themselves in a situation where they started a situation where Daniel Bryan was getting his ass kicked by the Authority, and looked like they was going to end it with him versus Kane. With CM Punk going out, he's by default become the guy that they've had to position for that role, and in the end, after all the bullshit, he's got to come out on top. And even if he loses the next month and drops the title again, in the end, I think he's going to win it in a fatal four-way with Triple H, Orton, and Batista, and we'll have the best ending to Mania that we can. Yes, yes, yes.
Miguel?
Ew.
You know, if I saw that there was another babyface that they could slot in there that the fans would really gravitate towards, I would say that, yeah, Daniel Bryan's probably not going to lose this, and they could run with this like crazy. That, you know, this is the start of the quote-unquote deal with it era. You know, that the fans don't matter. It's what Triple H wants, and what Triple H wants he gets. And they could really run this through if they had somebody else to really take advantage of that. But like I said, barring CM Punk magically coming back, I don't see anybody else taking that spot aside from John Cena, and no one wants that. So it has to be Daniel Bryan. There's nowhere else to go. They've put themselves in this corner, and they have no other way out.
And Peyton, final thoughts?
This WrestleMania is not going to be very good.
Were you the one saying it could be a sleeper?
It could be a sleeper, but at this point, it's not looking like it's going to be very good.
Alrighty, guys. That's WrestleMania, and hopefully we'll end up enjoying it. Make sure that you pay attention to the live coverage that we're going to be doing on Smark Out Moment, and follow along at the live chat. People are going to be talking about whether it's good, whether it's bad. And we have one last thing to do for this episode, Fantasy League.